On May 30th, 1913, the inaugural Balkan War drew to a close following an almost 8-month duration. This strife exacerbated the prevailing poverty across the Balkan region. The Balkan League celebrated a monumental and historic victory over the long-standing Ottoman rule, a dynasty that had held sway over the region for centuries. Almost expelled from continental Europe, the Ottoman Empire suffered significant losses of crucial strategic territories and cities. Notably, Adrianople, once a pivotal Ottoman stronghold and one of the dynasty's earliest conquests, fell into the hands of the League. Centuries prior, the European lands of the Ottomans were partitioned among the victors, leading to Albania's attainment of independence. Despite this major triumph for each member of the Balkan League, dissatisfaction lingered among one of its constituents. Nevertheless, the amicable relations among the triumphant Balkan allies swiftly dissipated, primarily due to the territorial disputes, notably in Macedonia, that arose during the pre-war negotiations leading to the formation of the Balkan League. On March 13, 1912, Serbia and Bulgaria clandestinely inked an agreement delineating their forthcoming borders, effectively partitioning northern Macedonia between them. However, during the conflict, the Serbs managed to seize territory well beyond the agreed-upon border, exacerbating tensions. Simultaneously, a significant objective for the Bulgarians was the seizure of the crucial port of Thessaloniki. However, the Greeks made northward progress, taking control of the city and establishing a shared Greek border with Serbia. When Bulgaria invoked the pre-war agreement with Serbia regarding northern Macedonia, the Serbs were discontented, particularly because the great powers mandated relinquishing their territorial acquisitions in northern Albania. Additionally, Balkan forces were compelled to vacate the territory of the newly formed Albanian state. These issues culminated in the dissolution of the Serbo-Bulgarian alliance. Viewing Bulgaria as a looming threat, Serbia initiated negotiations with Greece, a nation likewise apprehensive about Bulgarian ambitions. Merely 28 days preceding the Bulgarian assault, Greece and Serbia clandestinely forged a defensive pact. This accord reaffirmed the existing demarcation line between their respective occupation zones as their shared border, solidifying an alliance in anticipation of aggression from Bulgaria or Austro-Hungary. Tsar Ferdinand of Bulgaria harbored aspirations for the establishment of an enlarged Bulgarian state. In 1912, Ferdinand aligned with other Balkan states in an offensive against the Ottoman Empire to liberate occupied territories. He portrayed this conflict as a modern crusade, likening it to a monumental and sacred struggle between the Cross and the Crescent. Despite Bulgaria's significant contributions and the highest casualties among the Allies, the great powers advocated for the formation of an independent Albania. In the initial agreements of the Balkan League, Bulgaria exerted pressure on Serbia and Greece to relinquish the majority of Macedonia, despite the region being liberated from Turkish rule. However, in response to widespread public outcry, Serbia and Greece asserted their intention to retain control over the territories occupied by their forces in 1912. Bulgaria's national ambitions, articulated by Tsar Ferdinand and his military advisors, surpassed the stipulations of the 1878 Treaty of San Stefano, which were already perceived as ambitious. This encompassed not only eastern and western Thrace, but also the entirety of Macedonia, with control over the Aegean coast and Constantinople. A grandiose ambition for Tsar Ferdinand, akin to a fantasy to many, was to be crowned in Constantinople. However, this lofty scheme faltered as the Ottomans effectively fortified their positions near their capital, preventing its conquest by mid-June. Bulgaria became cognizant of the pact between Serbia and Greece, stipulating their united stance in the event of a Bulgarian incursion. On June 27th, Montenegro declared its alignment with Serbia should a Serbo-Bulgarian conflict arise. This declaration came just a day after Romania formally cautioned Bulgaria that it would not adopt a neutral stance in a potential new Balkan conflict. Efforts by Russian diplomats to avert the impending conflict proved futile, as they soon realized that the Bulgarians had already resolved to engage in war with Serbia. Tensions escalated as skirmishes persisted in Macedonia. Many foresaw the onset of a new war by June 29th. Under the direct supervision of Tsar Ferdinand, the Bulgarian High Command issued orders for a surprise attack against both Serbian and Greek positions without a formal declaration of war. Moreover, any directives conflicting with the attack order were to be disregarded. It is speculated that the Tsar undertook this action without informing the government. The following day, the government exerted pressure on the general staff to instruct the army to halt hostilities. This directive resulted in confusion and a loss of initiative, failing to rectify the situation of undeclared war. Consequently, despite the Bulgarian army mobilizing around 600,000 men at the outset of the First Balkan War, it comprised only 9 organizational divisions, rendering their divisional strength closer to that of an army corps than a division. During and following the First Balkan War, tactical requirements prompted modifications to the original military structure. A new 10th Division was established by incorporating 2 brigades from the 1st and 6th Divisions, while 3 independent brigades were formed from fresh recruits. Additionally, the heavy structure remained intact within the other divisions. In contrast, the Greek army of Macedonia comprised 9 divisions, yet the total number of soldiers under arms numbered only 118,000. Another pivotal factor influencing the actual strength of the divisions between the opposing armies was the distribution of artillery. The Greek army, consisting of 9 divisions, possessed a total of 176 guns, while the Serbian army, comprising 10 divisions, had 230 guns. In contrast, the Bulgarians boasted 1,116 guns, resulting in a ratio of 6-to-1 against the Greeks and 5-to-1 against the Serbian army. The primary Bulgarian offensive targeted the Serbs, utilizing their 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th armies, while the 2nd Army was assigned to attack Greek positions surrounding Thessaloniki. Yet, in the pivotal initial days of the conflict, only the 4th and 2nd Bulgarian armies received orders to advance. This strategic decision enabled the Serbs to concentrate their forces against the advancing Bulgarians and effectively halt their progress. The 4th Bulgarian Army occupied a crucial position, aiming to secure Serbian Macedonia. The hostilities commenced on June 29 to 30th, 1913. The 4th Bulgarian Army launched an offensive engaging Serbian positions. Although the 1st and 3rd Serbian armies initially achieved swift minor victories, the Bulgarians suffered significant losses from July 1st to the 3rd. The Serbs managed to capture the entire 7th Division of the 4th Bulgarian Army without encountering resistance. As a result, the Bulgarian attack was halted and the offensive was repelled. Subsequently, the Bulgarians entrenched themselves in formidable positions around the village of Kalamas. On July 18th, the Serbian Third Army launched an assault, prompting a fierce resistance from the Bulgarians. Facing numerical inferiority on the Greek front, the skirmishes escalated into a full-fledged Greek offensive. Under mounting pressure, the Bulgarian forces were compelled to retreat from their positions north of Thessaloniki. The strategy to swiftly dismantle the Serbian army in central Macedonia via a concentrated assault proved to be unfeasible, leading to the initiation of Bulgarian army's retreat. Meanwhile, the Bulgarian Second Army, under the command of General Ivanov, maintained a defensive line stretching from Dodran Lake in the southeast to Kilkis in southern Macedonia. On June 26th, the Bulgarian army was ordered to launch an offensive against Greece, advancing towards Thessaloniki. However, the Greek forces successfully halted their advance by June 29th. A decisive counterattack commenced at Kilkis, resulting in the defeat of the Bulgarians and the subsequent advancement of Greek forces. On July 5th, the Greeks successfully captured Doron, yet they encountered difficulties in severing the Bulgarians' retreating forces. By July 11th, Greek forces made contact with the Serbs and proceeded to advance up the Struma River. Consequently, the Serbian front became static. Observing the defeat of the Bulgarian army at his front, King Constantine issued orders for the Greek army to advance deeper into Bulgaria. Romania declared war on Bulgaria on July 10th and swiftly began unopposed advances in southern Dobruja and across the Danube. By July 20th, Romanian forces had progressed to a point just 116 kilometers north of the Bulgarian capital, Sofia. With the capital left vulnerable to invasion and the northwestern region of the country encircled, the Romanian Air Force conducted propaganda leaflet drops, marking Sofia as the first capital city in the world to be targeted by enemy aircraft. The minimal resistance to the Romanian invasion prompted the Ottomans to seize the recently ceded territories from Bulgaria. Their primary objective was the recapture of Adrianople, which fell into Turkish hands without resistance. The Ottoman forces committed atrocities against Bulgarians in eastern Thrace, resulting in the expulsion of nearly all of them from the region. With overwhelming odds stacked against Bulgaria and encircled by enemies, their armies struggled to sustain their efforts. This predicament likely stemmed from inadequate management, belligerent declarations, and a willingness to engage in war without fully considering the potential consequences. Bulgaria retaliated against its former allies, Serbia and Greece, employing exhausted troops and a strategy fueled by unrealistic optimism, driven by impulsiveness. On August 10th, Bulgaria, Greece, Montenegro, Romania, and Serbia convened to sign the Treaty of Bucharest, which delineated the division of Macedonia. As a result, Bulgaria expanded its territory by 16%. Serbia nearly doubled its size, and Greece saw an increase of approximately 68%. Additionally, a separate peace agreement was reached with the Ottomans. However, Bulgaria suffered the loss of Adrianople and eastern Thrace once more. Following these events, Bulgaria harbored discontent, leading it to align with the Central Powers in 1915.